Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, good morning. Back again with me, Lustya Suci Rahayu,
And me, Dian Ayu Lestari.
in Happy Talk Show. Today, I have several cases that I'm going to talk about the interesting topic. We are gonna talk about the existence of TikTok application, which is currently very popular with many people well. And surely our guests today are certainly not far from those related to this application. Yes, please welcome Rizky Prabandari and Unsilaturrohmah.
Hey,
Hi guys. Thank you for taking the time to visit here and I hope you can enjoy the moment. So, Rizky Prabandari is one of the TikTok content creator that is quite popular in this application. She also has many fans from various circles because the video content is very educational. If Rizky Prabandari is a content creator who educates, then there is also Unsilaturrohmah. She is one of the TikTok content creators whose videos are a lot about painting. Painting is her hobby, so she uses it as a content. She is also quite popular as well as Rizky Prabandari. Okay, let's move into Q&A session. First of all, Rizky Prabandari, I'm so curious about your opinion. So I want to ask about, as a TikTok content creator who educates many people, do you think that every content you create includes content that is useful for TikTok users from all ages?
so this is it. I do have an account on the TikTok application. Actually, I only use the TikTok account for my personal needs and just to have fun with my mother. However, when I got an assignment from the colleague and was required to upload it on social media, I tried to upload it on TikTok. After that, many positive responses, such as likes from viewers or my followers, increased more than my personal content. Then I took the initiative to create content that can educate or learning like English or others. And I think because the content I create is random, so some of it might beside that my content can be useful for all people. I think so.
Know this from you, actually, the existence of TikTok for you is quite important, right? Because you can convey your talk to everyone, and I think that's quite positive. But this TikTok is wide in scope. There must be many kinds of videos in it. So I want to know, what do you think about the use of TikTok that is too excessive and not in accordance with the portion, such as dancing too openly, especially since TikTok is not all adults. So what do you think about that, Rizky?
In my personal opinion, it depends on the person. I mean, it's her personal right, and she does it maybe for her own pleasure, or we don't know what the problem. So that with TikTok and her participation, she can feel happy or make her lose what makes her angry, sad, tired, and so on. In TikTok, also have a video skip feature or a block feature if you don't like the video. TikTok can be accessed by people, especially children. I think that as a parent with children, you can control or supervise your child in playing gadget and accessing negative things. Besides that, it is parent who should be able to supervise the child to avoid negative videos. I think that's my opinion.
Okay, I agree with your opinion because everyone should limit themselves from bad things. And now let's move to our next cases. Unsilaturrohmah, as said before, you are a painter who doubles as a content creator too. So far, there have been no difficulties that you have experienced when doing profession like this. So there must be, right? Moreover, being a painter has its own obstacles, right? What are the difficulties that you often face?
Okay, in terms of creating painted content on TikTok, of course, for me it is a little difficult because I have to be able to edit videos as attractively as possible with a video duration that is not too long. Because, on TikTok there is a time limit, and sometimes I also feel a little inferior when I see others people TikTok painting content whose paintings and video are much better. But I try to make my work as interesting as possible with my own style.
Okay, Unsila. So, Unsila, I want to know this too from you. What do you think is the right way to use TikTok? Because I see that there are quite a lot of TikTok users who use this application in a negative direction, which leads to adults, teens, and this has an impact on many Indonesian teenagers who are still underage. How do you think you can avoid this, Unsila?
All right. In my opinion, parents should still be supervise their children when playing gadgets. The role of parent is very important. Parents must also be able to divide their children's time when to play gadgets, when to study, and when to rest. Then, for teenagers, they should be aware and be able to filter out the negative effect of TikTok. In my opinion, socialization about the using TikTok needs to be held so that teenagers are wise in using the TikTok application. I think that's all about my opinion.
Thank you, Unsila, for the advice and motivation you give to us so that us can use this TikTok application as well as possible. But everyone, after the arrival of two guest stars who educate us from this TikTok application, we still have one last guest star, namely Nawal. Hello Nawal, welcome to our program today. That is a happy talk show. Okay, this Nawal Lulu is a TikTok user who scores TikTok for every day. However, she doesn't double as TikTok content creator like our two previous guest star before. So, Nawal, as a TikTok user, what content is the most interesting to you? So, wow, this is very interesting for me to see because it's quite difficult to determine what content we see every day.
In my opinion, as a TikTok user who only scroll TikTok every day, the content that I often watch or interest to watch is like cooking content because I happen to like cooking, and if there is a simple recipe, I immediately to try practice it. Then the next interesting content is horror stories because sometimes people like to appear on TikTok who share their horror experience. So I think it's very interesting and make me curious to hear their stories. Actually, there are many other interesting content. There are also makeup tutorial and many other interesting content. I think that's all.
Great, I agree with you. It's really very interesting to watch. I personally also like content cooking and horror too.
Okay, and I want to know what is your opinion as non-content creators? Is it true that the people we follow on TikTok are very influential for us? Because what we usually do is like what the content creators we follow do. What is your opinion about that?
For that, I think it depends because the people I follow uh, on TikTok are random. So if at the time there was content that appeared and interesting, I follow that right away. So I didn't choose first. And for the question of whether the people we follow have an influence or us, yes, I answer yes, very influential. Such as for example, they make cooking content or makeup tutorial and many more. Automatically, we as a woman, especially, so we always want to try something new. Let's just see that. It's also depend on whether the content has a lot of positive or negative. For example, if the content is less useful or negative, we automatically cannot follow what the content creator has created. I think that's all from me.
Okay, according from your opinion, so we have to be smart to pick who person we follow to give it good impact. Thank you, Nawal.
Too bad this talk show has to end today. Thank you for to our three speakers for coming to this happy talk show as well as giving us many new insight as host and also the audience. In order to use the TikTok application as well as possible. Sorry guys. In order to use the TikTok application as well as possible so that its use is practically free without any rules not to be abused. May our hopes and wishes come true soon. Thank you for our three speakers. Goodbye and happy Thursday. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you. See you.